The contentious e-tolls matter is back on the national agenda, can you believe it? After 8 years of outrage, debates and promises to scrap the project, nothing has happened yet. And now the South African National Roads Agency, SANRAL, is warning it could prevent motorists from renewing their license discs if they don't pay their e-tolls bills. Take a look.
South Africans are enraged by reports that SANRAL could issue a fine or block the renewal of license discs if e-tolls are not paid. Gauteng Premier David Makhura was vehement that e-tolls would not be implemented, but was met with opposition from his own party. Organizations such as ALTA have fought against the e-toll system since the beginning. In a series of tweets, ALTA CEO Wayne Duvenage says SANRAL's warning is fear-mongering and that they cannot block license renewals as it is not a licensing department.
So we don't believe there will ever be a case where SANRAL starts to withhold vehicle licenses or the road traffic infringement authorities for that matter. So we believe that this is impossible, it's not going to happen, and the public should not worry about these threats from SANRAL or the enforcement authorities.
SAFTU has said that they oppose what SANRAL is saying and that motorists will drive with or without a disc and a driver's license.
The e-tolls are done. They cannot be rescued. 80% of the drivers here are not paying. They will not pay because of the idle threats of SANRAL. Lastly, we're calling on the ANC to sort out this mess.
The chairperson of Justice SA, Howard Dambowski, says SANRAL's warning indicates that the government has no plan to do away with e-tolls.
What they appear to be doing is waiting for the Auto Amendment Act to take force on the 1st of July of this year, because that amendment to the Auto Act allows the issuing authorities to serve infringement notices electronically, and that costs nothing.
The Transport Department and the Gauteng provincial government have promised a resolution on e-tolls for years. Many South Africans hope that this matter will not end in a loss of their driving rights.
All right, so what is the official position of the Gauteng provincial government on the issue of e-tolls? For more, we're joined now by Transport MEC Jacob Mamabolo. MEC, good morning. Thanks very much for coming on to the AM Report. I mean, you've been quite clear in what your position is on e-tolls. You're saying you're against it.
Yes, good morning to you, to all the viewers. Let me thank you for the opportunity you have given me. Just to state categorically clear that the position of the provincial government in Gauteng remains consistent. We have clearly said that the people of our province should be relieved of the burden of having to exclusively, as residents of the province, carry the costs of the roads that are saving not just the South African economy, but are also a link to the economy on the African continent, particularly neighboring states, linking our economy and those to the international or global economy. And for that reason, we believe that the proposal that we have given national government with various financial options models, it's the most appropriate one. It resolves the issue much more clearer. It actually ensures financial, revenue streams flows into the fiscus, and our proposals in terms of financial performance, they far, far outweigh the current e-toll system. We also want to emphasize the point and dismiss it with the contempt it deserves, that we are violating or we are undermining user pay principle. We believe this is a complete misunderstanding of the e-tolling system, because when you compare the plaza toll gates, the current traditional toll gates, the boom gates, they enforce user pay principle because everybody pays. The e-toll system, we have got people all over the country who passes there, and there's no user pay principle. In actual fact, if there's a system that undermines user pay principle, is the e-tolling system. We also say that our province is the most tolled province. If you just look at every road entering and exiting Gauteng, we're sitting with many toll gates. On top of that, there's another layer, e-tolling system, and that makes the spatial cost and the cost of living in this province very high. And it is for that reason that we believe that even conceptually, the model itself was not properly thought of, because they should have seriously analyzed unique South African conditions, should have understood the risk factor here, and it seems they didn't. And we don't believe that the people of Gauteng should be burdened with this e-tolling system that was in the first place completely unnecessary. Because anyone who would have done proper risk analysis would have realized that we don't need this type of system in Gauteng and in the country.
So MEC, the issue of withholding license discs now from, I mean, it would amount to 80% of road users in Gauteng having their license discs withheld if what SANRAL is trying to do actually comes into effect. And according to my understanding, there actually is no legal grounds for SANRAL to be able to do that.
Well, let me just say to the people of Gauteng that in November 2020, when we saw that the ARTO regulations are trying to smuggle back in a very completely wrong way, by the way, and without even taking into consideration our comprehensive, compelling case, and they're trying to bring this issue of e-tolls in the manner that they are doing, we immediately wrote a letter to Honorable Minister Fikile Mbalula, in which we stated categorically clear, we are on record on that issue, that we will completely oppose any attempt by ARTO regulations to bring back e-tolls into the province. And to that extent, we remain very firm on that. All what we want to say at this point is to appeal to national government to respond to the comprehensive and compelling case that we have submitted, and not to try to use or leave this matter to institutions like SANRAL that themselves should actually be working with national government to respond to our compelling case to relieve the people of the burden of e-tolls. And to that extent, we remain very firm that we will oppose, no doubt about that, any attempt to bring e-tolls through the mechanism of ARTO regulations. We oppose that firmly.
Yeah, I mean, the problem comes in MEC is when the ARTO Amendment Act comes into effect later this year. This issue of the renewal of a license disc only can be withheld if an enforcement order for outstanding infringement fines has been issued against the owner or driver of the vehicle and it hasn't been paid. At the moment, outstanding e-tolls fees is not an infringement as a road traffic offence, but will it be when the ARTO Amendment Act comes into effect?
Well, just to emphasize the point, the principle and I've made, and the fact that we have placed the matter on record simply says and simply means that we as a province, we will flatly oppose that. And how they want to do it, the way they want to approach it, and the way it's going to be implemented, for us, that's neither here nor there. The issue is there's no way we are going to allow that the people of this province be imposed with yet again another completely wrong approach to collection of money for the e-tolls. We're very clear on that issue, and there's no amount of ARTO, in one form or another that is going to change that position. So the approach is the mechanism making e-toll equivalent to a traffic fine, and therefore trying to deny people the ability to renew in whatever form their licenses. That is still part of the same thing. There's nothing new here.
Yeah.
The point we are making is the model was from the very beginning wrongly conceptualized. It doesn't give government revenue. It has never met its financial targets since it started. It is not meeting them currently. It is not going to meet those financial revenue collection targets anywhere, anytime in future. And therefore, we have an opportunity as a country, as a province, to make sure that we can introduce measures that the people of this province and the country have clearly said they are better options. And we believe those will bring great relief to the current situation pertaining to e-toll. So to that extent, I just want to reaffirm the well-known position of the province. It has been also reaffirmed by a united alliance in this province representing the people. And there's no way that we're going to leave the people of this province with this burden, making it very much difficult for households, their income, through the survey released recently by the Statistics South Africa, the survey that we conducted as a province with the help of the CSIR. Both surveys clearly indicate the cost of living is too high, affected by increases in the cost of travel. And in this province, it's even double. There's no province with toll gates, as Gauteng. There's no province with e-tolls. We are the only ones. Yeah. And what is also upsetting us is the people in the affluent areas, Sandton, they walk to work, they drive to work, they drive to commercial centers. They don't have to use this e-toll. People like from Amanskral, the poor of the poorest, if they were to access the city of Tshwane, they are the ones who need these highways to travel. So this is yet again a punishment on the people that have already suffered from many years of national oppression, of colonialism in this country, and we don't believe that yet another punishment in the cost of living plays squarely on poor families. That we're not going to really take as the Premier and the provincial government alliance structures, everybody have already said.
Right.
This should be done away with.
Thanks.
We're very clear on that point.
Yeah, I think you've made your point. Thanks very much for that. Transport MEC Jacob Mamabolo in Gauteng joining us there live as we continue to unpack the story around e-tolls. Other organizations, including OUTA, also saying that under regulations, outstanding e-tolls is not an infringement and licenses can't be withheld. OUTA is also fighting the changes to the ARTO Amendment Act that may well make that possible.